File, Read Molecule, My Documents, Vina Tutorial. This is where I put the input files for the tutorial. I'm going to open protein.pdb. Most PDB structures do not have hydrogens, and we have to add them with edit hydrogens, add polar only. OK. Now autodock tools added all the polar hydrogens. They are required. I can grid, micromolecule, choose, protein, select molecule. OK. And I'm going to save the protein PPT file in the same directory. Grid, grid box. We have to choose the part of the receptor where the docking program will be looking for docked conformations of the ligand. This is called the search space. I can move the receptor with the right mouse button. I can also rotate it with the middle button and move it closer or farther away with the scroll wheel. In fact, I don't have a middle button, and clicking on the scroll wheel works the same way. For the center of the search space, I'm going to use these values: 11 for X, 90.5 for Y, and 57.5 for Z. Sometimes you have to hit enter to update the view. We also have to choose the sizes of the search space. Autodock Tools measures the sizes in points instead of angstroms. To convince it to use angstroms, we can set this dial to 1.0, which is a scaling factor. For the sizes, I will use the following values: 22 for X, 24 for Y, and 28 for Z. I don't have to save anything here. This step is just to visualize the search space. But I have to remember these values to use them directly with Vina later. Now let us open the ligand. Ligand, input, open, My Documents, Vina tutorial. Ligand.pdb. Okay. We can hide the protein so that we can see the ligand better. I recommend using ligand structures that already have the correct hydrogens. This way, when you open them using autodock tools will automatically merge the non-polar hydrogens and leave the polar hydrogen. Now let us look at the rotatable bonds and torsions. Rotatable bonds in green, this color, clicking on them, and I'm going to make aromatic 7 rotatable bonds in the middle. Structure as PDBQT. Now we can close ADT because we don't need it anymore. We're almost ready to run Vina. Start, all programs, accessories, command prompt. And change the directory to My Documents, Vina tutorial. Vina is installed by default under Program Files, the Scripps Research Institute, to print the other options to the files file. However, sometimes start my documents, text document, and I'll call the configuration file conf.txt and put the options in there. Receptor is protein.pvkt. The ligand is ligand.pvkt. The geometry of the search space is you may remember, center x is 11. The y coordinate of the center is 90.5. The z coordinate is 57.5. The sizes are 22, 24, and 28. These are all the required options. Vina produces one or more binding modes as its output. Each of the binding modes goes into its own PBKT file, and the names of the files are determined by the name of the ligand. Sometimes it's more convenient to put all the binding conformations into one multi-model PBKT file. For this, we can use the option all, and we'll call the file all.pbkt. Another important option is exhaustiveness. By default, it equals 8, and exhaustiveness determines how it binds. They use in all cases by providing except the defaults. I'm going to run Vina by providing it the configuration file name. I don't have to put all the options in the configuration file. I can specify that the log file, there should be a log file, and it should be called log.txt. Now I can run Vina by hitting enter.
You know when you're running late and can't find your phone?
Okay, calling now.
Ah, found it.
Which you can see on your screen. Vina Vina software detects the number of CPUs in your computer. Here you can see it has detected 2 CPUs. We all or Vina software split all these 9 docked conformations from the single file that is out.pdbqt. Now you can see the different conformations